Developed alongside the superb F-86, North American's FJ Fury series was the Sabre's lesser-known naval cousin. The final variant, the FJ4, didn't fly until after the Korean War was over, but the type traces its lineage all the way back to 1946.
This is an FJ4B Fury. It's the bomber version of the FJ4, which was derived from the F-86 series by North American. They came out with a swept-wing fighter that they took to the Navy, and the Navy said back in those days, in the late 40s, early 50s, you can't land a swept-wing fighter on a carrier, so put a straight wing on it. We'll look at it. They did. They put a straight wing on it, became the FJ1 Fury. Then they found out after the Air Force accepted it and started flying it, oh, we can land that on a carrier, especially when we have an angled deck. Put a hook on the F-86, it was the FJ2 Fury, bigger engine FJ3 Fury. Then they needed a nuclear-capable aircraft jet that could fly off a carrier. So this is the first nuclear-capable jet that could fly off a carrier, and it was called the FJ4. It's not at all like the F-86. It's quite a bit bigger, has a lot more fuel, it's faster, flies higher. They only built about 200 of these. This is the last one flying. This airplane was built in the late 50s. The Navy flew it for about 700 hours and mothballed it, and then a company called Flight Systems in Mojave got it out of mothballs for a study of the Pershing missile guidance system, and they needed to have an airplane that would go to 50,000 feet, point straight down, not go supersonic. This airplane's got 4 huge speed brakes for dive bombing, and they flew another 700 hours testing this guidance system, getting copies of radar images from U-2s, storing it in the guidance system, and then matching that pattern as they dove from 50,000 feet up and down all around the country. They put 700 hours. It was sold to a Canadian who painted it, didn't do anything else, couldn't get into Canada. We bought it and restored it. North American was good about utilizing common parts. FJ4 series had horrible brakes. It's a heavy airplane, and the brakes, if you have a hook and you're going to land on a carrier, you don't need brakes. So these airplanes characteristically had bad brakes, and if you were here many years ago, I went off the end of this runway because of the brakes fading and quitting. So it turned out that a Sabre 60 brake, which is built by North American, a business jet, fit right on the axle, and we've got better brakes and even anti-skid now. It's an interesting airplane to fly. It's not a difficult airplane to fly. Like a lot of Navy jets, it lands fairly slow, and you can develop pretty high sink rates on landing. You want to try and be careful about your approach speed. That's really about the only gotcha.